So we're halfway through our training session, having a quick break to feed the baby, but more importantly, we've been chatting all things addiction. Now, I just recognised, whilst it's been mine and Danny's 1 year anniversary recently, it's actually just over a year since I last made myself sick, which might surprise most people because people always think that I recovered like years ago and then I've never had any blips or whatever. But you'll probably know what that's like. You might be on a journey of recovery, but doesn't mean that you don't slip.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
It's knowing your own limits. So I know for me, I talk about nutrition and I can talk to other clients about nutrition and help them with their goals, but everyone's individual of what they can manage. What was your journey with addiction?
So like I'm 7 months sober now. So it started, probably it's been building up the past few years. I've had a lot of trauma in my life and I used it as a coping mechanism, the alcohol. So it got just out of control where I needed it daily, morning, and I had to use that to live. But it got to a point where the alcohol made me a suicide attempt, so I took an overdose and luckily I'm still here. So that was the rock bottom point I had to hit, I think personally, to then make my recovery. So I stayed in a recovery centre for 2 weeks and got out of there, and then we put plans in place at home, hit the gym, I was a personal trainer anyway, but I got back to personal training, what I love, built my business up, and now we're looking at doing a supporting group called Mean and Clean for addiction as well.
Really? So, and how common is addiction?
I think it's everyday life. I think everyone's got an addiction to something, now my addiction's the gym, that's like my alcohol and drugs to me. But I think everyone's got an addiction in certain parts of their life. But it's just about sort of picking the right one really, and one that's going to benefit you and make you grow as a person.
I think that's the key, isn't it? It's like, it's not to just remove everything, it's replacing it with positive addictions, where it's, if you've got an addictive personality, it's like with drug dealing, if you use their entrepreneurial mindset, it could do really good in the world. If it was legal, to actually use their kind of mindset in business. But then same with, like I found with my own addictions, like the biggest key was happiness and filling my life with love, because I met Danny and started to actually feel a bit of self-worth again. And having those people around you that give you the reason to do things, but also sometimes even if you have got loved ones around you, it's not always anything they can necessarily do. It's that change has got to come from within.
Definitely. I think one of my biggest sort of things that I did was I had to cut my circle down. So any sort of friends, which I still talk to them obviously, but I became a bit of a recluse just to get myself right, just to get my recovery ongoing. So I cut the circle down. So a lot of my close friends now are people who've suffered and are pulling through it. Like I've got a lot of gym friends who are into training and stuff. And friends that instead of saying, do you want a drink, go on, have a drink, saying that you're not, do you know what I mean? So it's that positive mindset and cutting your circle a little bit smaller.
And how do you find this time of year? Because obviously, for me, I know it's a trigger because whilst I'm big on New Year, new mindset, I love all the kind of goal setting because I love that. But I'm also big on, I'm not going to go on some like ridiculous diet that doesn't work because that's what I would have done in the past. And then I know I'm on a slippery slope. I'm more about healthy nutrition now. What about for you? Because obviously Christmas is all about drinking for, well, especially people in this country. I think unfortunately in this country, it's a big thing. I can't drink anymore because I'm not, again, I've got an addictive personality. I just can't even let myself because I can't moderate.
That's the same with me. So like I said, we were talking earlier, weren't we? And I had my Christmas do on Saturday, which was one of the biggest tests, but I came through it good. I didn't feel like I needed a drink. It got to a certain point where I had to sort of go because it was getting a bit loud and my anxiety started kicking in a little bit. But it's not bothered me at all in the slightest, the drink. I just sort of focusing on the gym, focusing on my family life and my business. So it's everything that I was using when I was drinking, everything was just going downhill. So it is a tough time of the year. But I think my mindset now is just to keep moving forward and keep the recovery ongoing.
And if there's anyone out there struggling with addiction, honestly, reach out, get support. Jody's got the Mean and Clean profile on Instagram as well if you need something positive to focus on in the new year. But I know how vital support has been for me, and ongoing. Never just think, oh, I'm okay now, I'm recovered.
Yeah.
It's a constant ongoing journey, and just know you're not alone. Reach out, get that support, whether it be going to your GP or calling a support line, whatever works for you. Know that there are people out there who totally get it and understand it. But that even when you're in those dark places thinking, I'll never be bulimia free or anorexia free or prescriptive drug addiction free, can't say that, that you can and you will. And actually there'll be a time, like, we're both fortunate and you've worked really, really hard and you're incredible what you've done in such a short time. And there's a time where you come to a point where you're like, oh, the addiction doesn't control me anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
I control it.
It is, that's it. I mean, the hardest thing to control is your mind, isn't it? But once you sort of put tools in place and start using them properly, then it's not easy done, because I'm still recovering 7 months sober. And I know there's going to be challenging times, but I feel like I've got the coping strategies and tools to beat it. So
fabulous, thank you. And putting your passion into something positive, so you've got that passion, that fire. That's
still. That's it.
Right, send your peace, love and shimmies.
Thank you.